25 years ago this week, the captivating short story, A River Runs Through It, debuted on the big screen with director Robert Redford lovingly translating the McLean family story to film. Although it wasn't filmed in Missoula, the movie helped to complete the local legacy the novella had introduced. And for Norman McLean's grandson, this year marks not only the anniversary of a personal tale of western Montana life, but a reminder of the value of the Blackfoot Stewardship Act. A few weeks ago, before the summer fire smoke choked the Blackfoot Valley, the Montana Wilderness Association invited supporters of the Blackfoot Stewardship Act to see how protections on the headwaters are so critical for this legendary river. Setting off from Corrix River Bend, we floated past the canyon where Norman McLean, his brother Paul, and father shared that remarkable last fishing trip. It's a place where Montana seems more poetic, more thoughtful, and a state that encourages deep thinking. But McLean's grandson, along for the float, says for him it's a place where memories and the technique of Norman's four-count rhythm mingle with his own experience.
I think what my goal is when I'm out here is to get to a point where I'm clean of thoughts and just experiencing the moment. But there's never a time when my grandfather's spirit's not near my heart when I'm fishing, and he had all sorts of rules about how to do it, and many of them I obey, and not all of them, but he informs everything I do out here. Most of what I know about the foundations of my understanding of wild places and rivers and fishing knots and rods, he planted most of those seeds, and my parents, with him. So yeah, it all connects together into one thing, and it's my history and his history and this place. It all becomes one thing.
The interesting thing about experiencing the Blackfoot or any of these other special places in western Montana is how that experience becomes your own. While you can build upon the legacy of someone like Norman McLean, it's all about finding your own way and your own depiction of these special places. Snyder sees his 9-year-old son and his nephew discovering the Blackfoot for themselves.
They're having the same experience my brother and I had, and my grandfather and his brother had. And there is a continuity, there's a shared experience, there's a truth in it.
It's that unique ecosystem supporters say the act would enhance, preserving not only these lower reaches of holes and riffles, but the upper headwaters.
They're cold, clear mountain streams that are great fisheries habitat, and a lot of these fluvial west slope cutthroat and bull trout will migrate up through the river systems into those smaller tributaries to reproduce.
And it's not just fishing and floating. Snyder notes the act would protect the shoulder areas up against the western Bob Marshall.
This would protect those areas, the areas that actually get visited the most, and mean that, those same places I went on a hike with my grandfather and my parents, they'll be there for my son and hopefully his children, and it's on us to save these places. If we don't, they won't be there, and nobody will be able to experience it again. And